Welcome everyone to this wonderful evening on a Thursday. I hope everyone enjoyed their youth day yesterday and celebrated like South Africans we should and enjoyed it. Today we'll be having a Section 12J webinar on a very interesting qualifying company of ours. They are a Motor City Va Nkuna. If I get that right, I always get confused on it. So thank you for that. And they'll be speaking about their qualifying company. And then Chris will be speaking about how you can invest your taxes into this. So you may share your screen and you may get going, Loandla, because you'll be going first.
Okay.
We're going second.
Okay, thanks, Tristan. Okay, evening once again. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can, and we can hear you clearly.
Yes, can see it.
All right, great, thank you. Yes, we are Va Nkuna MotorCity Retail Holdings. We're an automotive company. The basic idea behind our reason for existence is that, we want to bring services to the people in the township areas and in the peri-urban areas. Those are areas that are often neglected, in terms of services. So what we try and do is to ensure that, we set up operations where, the poorest of the poor are found, so that, we create jobs, we can create, opportunities for young people who can be trained and be upskilled. But I'll talk in a lot more detail as I proceed in the presentation. Okay, due to time limitations, I'll fly through some of the slides. I'm going to emphasize a few, which I think are critical for this meeting, but, most of the stuff is just background detail. The colleagues can always engage with us, if they want more information. Okay, just to reiterate what I was saying earlier, in terms of the context, we want to be located in townships and peri-urban areas. We've done some research, there's some buying power in those areas, but, services are very, patchy. And we find that, when a person has to have their car serviced, they have to drive all, very long distances. So we see the problem, as having an opportunity. What we try and do is to tap into the bottom of the pyramid, and ensure that, we harness that potential, that buying power that's in those communities, and also to ensure that, those communities can get, fashionable brands, that are located in those areas. If you remember, some of you might know this, in New York, there was a gentleman who turned around the crime situation. They had a very serious crime issue there in the 1980s. He came up with this theory called the broken windows theory. So what it says is, if in a place, the area is not well looked after, there are no opportunities, people are breaking windows, the economy of that place just goes down. But, if you find people who pull together, they harness, the potential of that area, it's very easy to create a turnaround. So through this concept, there is what we would like to do for our townships and, the villages that we've identified. In terms of our value proposition, we would like to grow this business over the next 3 to 5 years. What is central to our concept is a partnership with one of South Africa's premier development companies. They focus on commercial property, but they focus on townships and peri-urban areas. That is why, we felt that, this was an ideal match. It's like a marriage made in heaven, as they say. What I would like to also emphasize is that some of you might have seen this in December last year. The Competition Commission issued a ruling on the right to repair campaign. What it basically says is, if you own a car, your BMW, BMW or whatever car there is, you're no longer obliged from the 1st of July to service your car at the BMW. So or at the Toyota, whatever the case may be, even though you're still under warranty. So South Africa was unique in the sense that, when you own the car, you had to go to that franchise OEM, until you're out of warranty. So, you pay a lot of money and so on. So what this ruling does, it blows the market open. So for players like us who, will bring in car service outlets, there's an opportunity to service cars that are still under warranty. So it's a huge opportunity that we see as well in that area. I've touched on the concept. So what I'll just highlight in terms of this slide is that, in terms of the project pipeline that we've identified, it's worth about 65 million, and it's made up of projects that are in different villages or areas, where our commercial development partner will be opening centers. Some are more in the medium term, some are more short term, but I'll talk about that in a moment. So in terms of the team that we have behind this venture, there's myself, as you can see on the screen, number 5. My background is finance and strategy. So if you check the team, I would say it's a balanced team. We've got significant expertise in terms of the automotive sector, some veterans there. We also have fleet management specialists, and also we've got a community leader from one of the areas that we'll be operating from. The idea behind this is that we would like to be rooted in the community. Like I said, we don't see this as a get rich quick scheme. What we'd like to do is to ensure that, in communities where we're represented, the people can be proud of what we're doing. So we bring in the community through this kind of representation. So in terms of the growth opportunity that we see, the first project that we identified was the Va Nkuna Regional Mall, which would be around the Tzaneen area. It would have 5 shops. One is a Tyre Fitment Centre, Alarm and Sound Fitment Centre, Auto Spares Retail Centre, Used Vehicle Showroom, and Automotive Aftermarket Repair and Maintenance Centre. What has transpired since we started on this project is that our commercial development partner has told us that, look, the Va Nkuna Regional Mall will actually take a while to complete. The envisaged date of opening is in April 2023. There is another opportunity that has been presented to us, which forms the 65 million rands, project pipeline, and this is in the southeastern part of Limpopo. So the concept is the same. We have a MotorCity which offers complementary products. In terms of the key investment highlights that pertain to this venture, we would like to bring in strong brands. What I need to highlight is that 3 of the shops will be franchise brands, and then 2 will be owned, will be independent outlets. And there is a sound fitment center and also the auto spares. The reason behind that is, we think that, there might be room for us to make more margin, when we handle it that way. One of the key determinants of where we choose to operate or the areas that we target is a growing population and market. We also, see a lot of profitability. So like I said earlier, the product mix or the portfolio of the businesses, is complementary. We've got parts, we've got a service center, we've got sound fitment, and what we're trying to do is to log in, a person. So when they come in there, they want anything to be done pertaining to cars. They are trapped, for lack of a better way of putting it, they are trapped in that area. So that ensures that, we have a more profitable mix in terms of our business. We've got a strong team. I've spoken about that. I won't dwell too much on that. So I'll just jump that. We see a lot of potential in terms of growth. Just imagine the number of townships that we have in the country that do not have, these types of services. Obviously, we're not going to be planting a motor city in each and every township, but the focus is to plant a motor city where we see growth, where there's significant populations with buying power, and of course a business case, because the idea is to ensure that we run this sustainably. This slide just presents our business model. I won't spend too much time on it, but what I just need to highlight is that we're trying to ensure that our cost structure primes us for sustainability. So in other words, we would like to have a cost structure that is 85% variable, so that if you remember when we had COVID, a lot of businesses that were top heavy in terms of costs, lots of fixed costs, they became unsustainable because you're not trading, but at the same time you've got all these fixed costs that you still need to take care of. So what we're trying to do is to ensure that the business can sustain shocks regardless of what happens. If we have COVID-20, COVID-50, the business can still be sustainable, and it would be a cash-based business. So I think this will be of interest to you. So this is how we see the business maturing. The first year would be the launch, the Motor City. Like I said earlier, in terms of the timing, when it comes to the completion of the malls, the Va Nkuna Regional Mall will take a while to complete. So we will be focusing more on the mall in the southeastern part of Limpopo, which is in the Waterberg district. What we would also like to do, like I said, sustainability is important to us. Would like to build managerial depth in the business. There's 5 directors that we have seen, but obviously to carry something like this is not child's play. We need capacity, in terms of management. We need people who can keep an eye on the shops. We need people who can ensure that the trains run on time and so on. So the first phase is to ensure that we use that first year to build capacity so that some of the best people that start with us can be deployed in the other motor cities. If you remember the case of the South African breweries, when they began to internationalize, they had a lot of South African expatriates that they were sending overseas, and that was because those people had been steeped in the SAP culture. So they could send someone to Poland. That person will still, do what needs to be done. So this is the idea. Use the first phase to ensure that, our foundation is sound. And then in the second phase, in about 18 months, we expand our footprint in terms of the franchises, regionally and nationally. And then in phase 3, that's where we will consider expanding across the automotive sector value chain. Like I said, that right to repair campaign has actually blown the market wide open. So there could be opportunities in terms of acquisitions. When you look at some of the smaller players when it comes to component manufacturing, there is a drive in the country currently to re-industrialize. And when you look at the work that government is doing in terms of the foundry sector, a lot of smaller players are being brought in, resuscitated. So there could be opportunities further down the line in terms of equipping those people and also getting a piece of the pie for ourselves. If you look on the right-hand side, we're trying to show the impact that we hope to have. One MotorCity, in terms of job creation, we're looking at 40 people. So just think about it in this way. If we have a dependency ratio of 1 to 5, there is one person having a job supports 5 people. There's a lot of people that, will be taken off, the poverty line. And then in terms of skill development, we're looking at
We seem to have lost.
Sorry?
No, you just went down for a few seconds there. Please continue.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I was saying when it comes to skill development, what we'd like to do is we look at ourselves as a conveyor belt. Some of the people that we train will leave, but we see that as our contribution to the country to say, when we train people and they leave us, it's fine because, we've made a contribution. That person will go and get employed somewhere or start their own business. So that's our approach when it comes to local impact. This slide frames what I was saying. So for the sake of time, I will not dwell too much on this, but just to emphasize that, there's a pipeline, 65 million rands. As you can see, it's made up of a number of projects, and those will be implemented over time. So achieve, yeah. So now, this is the proposed layout of the MotorCity. At 2021 pricing, was about 20 million rands to set up one, to buy stock and have everything that we need in the MotorCity.